Hey, it's Tasha. It's Friday Eve. Happy Thursday. We are back in the sewing room, and I am finally sewing blocks together. It's an exciting day. Um, it is an exciting day. Hopefully, you can hear me okay. I'm always paranoid that the technology is not going to work. And Brenda's here. Hey, Brenda. And you snuck in a row of quilting. You're on a roll tonight, and you're here. Not napping on me. Hey, Arlie. How you doing? Hey, Andy. Hey, everybody. So it is a small miracle that I finally have all these blocks trimmed. This is the longest baby quilt I've ever worked on in my life. Not that I've actually, this might be the first baby quilt I've ever worked on in my life, but small quilt taking a long time, but we're getting there. Hi, Sabrina. Oh, Andy, is that 30 more on your foundation paper piece massive quilt you've been working on? That's only 30 more to go. Is pretty good. You had a lot of blocks. Hi, Twyla. Hi, Pammy. Love you. All you Arizonians. Oh, Sabrina, that is so nice. Well, I actually am late for this all week because it forces me to come downstairs and sew a little bit. Not that any should have to be forced, but I'm in a little sewing funks right now. I don't know if you guys ever get into sewing funks, but man, I am in one. Hey, Zaza. The Woven Stars. That's the name. Wow. You've put in some work on that. That has been a crazy thing to watch. I missed your whip Wednesday yesterday because I think it was when I was at work. You were an early bird yesterday, right, Andy? So I took all these blocks off I had them up hanging on my design wall, and then I had to clip each one. I don't know about you all. Hi, Justin. Thanks for watching. I don't know about you guys, but I cannot just pile. I see some videos out there on the internet of people just piling blocks up organized and can remember which way they go together. I can't. I have to have a clip exactly where I need to sew, or I can't remember. Zaza says, I'm overwhelmed with too many projects and can't get anything done. Isn't that funny how our brains work? Like, I have so many things I want to do, and I'm excited to do some of them, and I have to do some of the other ones. So instead of doing anything, I'm just going to do nothing. Like, my brain is the exact same way until finally I start to make lists and check things off, and that helps me. Hey, Joanne, saved you from a Hallmark movie. Is it Christmas Hallmark movies already? I know they start early. Yeah, all day meetings on Wednesdays. I hate the day job that conflicts with my quilting. I know that the day job and the kids, they take up so much time, but that day job does help me pay for all of this stuff. So it's a love-hate relationship. Oh, that's interesting. Andy says, roll a die if you can't decide. That's a very interesting way to go about it. Number your projects, roll a dice, and see what you come up with. Interesting theory. Hopefully I got my settings right on this machine. I did do one little test. I'm convinced I'm going to sew one of these blocks together wrong, but I'll figure that out later if I do. That's what the seam ripper's for. Is anybody out there sewing anything fun these days other than the name of the quilt that Andy just said that I've already forgotten, the Woven Stars? And Sabrina's asking, where does everyone buy their fabric? So I buy a lot of my fabric from the Fat Quarter shop online. I do like to shop at my local quilt shop, but they don't have I like Kona solids a lot, and they only sell black, white, and oyster or something like that. So it just depends. But sometimes I go there and buy I was working on some ghost little ghost quilt blocks over Halloween, and they're floral printed. And I bought a bunch of fat quarters from the local quilt shop that were all florals because I didn't really know what I wanted, so it made it, uh, more fun for me. And I also shop at Missouri Star sometimes if I can't find what I want at Fat Quarter Shop. But there's also a lot of really nice shops on Etsy. So I don't know the name of it off the top of my head, but I could definitely look it up and post it in the Facebook group, where she curates fat quarter bundles and half yard bundles. So I got one that was like a pumpkin patch and it was all like oranges and browns and greens. And so sometimes, like, if I'm like want a variety of colors, I'll seek out little shops on Etsy as well. Pam buys hers at Michael's. Pam makes what are those? Lots of tie blankets. You made one of those for my kids way back in the day. Those little taggies, or what were those called? Taggies. Brenda just finished quilting a baby quilt, and I loaded some slab box that I made up, and now I'm quilting them to make them into some bags for Christmas gifts. That is fun. I can't decide if I'm making anything for Christmas, and if I am making it, I don't know if I'm sewing it. I don't know. Andy says the local shop for quilting cotton, and I do sponsored projects, so fabric companies give me enough to make a top. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. A lot of people like cotton cuts too for like kids and stuff. I guess it just depends on what you're looking for. Arlie says threaded lines. I have not heard of threaded lines. Missouri Star Fat Quarter Shop. Don't have a shop near me. Oh, that's a bummer, Arlie. Some like quilt shops can be few and far between these days. And the problem for my quilt shops for me around here are they're like primarily open during work hours, right? Like they don't, I think mine stays open late on Tuesday nights maybe. So I do have to like kind of, and then weekends sometimes even they're not open later. So even like by the time you get done with soccer and birthday parties and errands, it's sometimes a little challenging for me to get there, even though it's pretty close. Baby Taggy. And Joanne says she buys mostly online, but also local vendor Divine Threads. The Divine Threads is local to us? I haven't heard of that. The online shopping is just so convenient, right? Like, I don't know. My sleep is a little goofy. I think I've mentioned that a couple times the past couple weeks. And like, sometimes I'll just wake up in the middle of the night and, oh, it's a great time to shop for quilt books. I just bought that encyclopedia of pieced quilt blocks the other night because I couldn't sleep and I'd been thinking about it. All right, that looked perfect. Divine Threads. I'm writing that one down. I do like to shop locally if I can. And then Twyla says Missouri Star Quilt Company. You're going to hear that name a lot, Sabrina. Missouri Star. They're just so massive. And they have a lot of selection, so it's very convenient to buy online. But Twyla also says a place called the Fabric Patch. I need to scroll back up because I feel like somebody also threaded lines, Arlie said. I had never heard of that one either. Oh, I will definitely have to check that out. Oh, my husband's texting me good night. He does not stay up and watch my lives. Can you believe that? The audacity. He's like, Tasha, I've heard enough about your quilting. That's not what he says, but I know that's what he's thinking. The last thing he wants to do is watch me make videos of talking about more sewing. Brenda, you said you're making bags for Christmas. Are you making those for like coworkers, the family, who are just making them, and then you'll decide as you go who's going to receive them? Like, how many bags are you making? I fear that maybe the, there we go. Okay. Family mostly, and any extras will go to some of Phil's PSWs. Oh, that's so nice. That's nice. I was thinking about trying to make some for the kids' teachers, but I wasn't sure. So, Andy, that's so funny you say that. So, my husband specifically, like 3 weeks ago, because I showed him my chart, and I'm like getting so close to 1,000 subscribers, which still like blows my mind, and I'm so grateful and thankful. But my watch hours are like 1,100, and so what I watch hours are, you need to get 4,000 watch hours on like your long form videos to get monetized on YouTube. So like if you see ads on my videos right now, I don't get paid for any of those ads, but once you get like certain criteria, you can start to make a little, I mean, it's not going to be life-changing money or anything, but it'll be fun, right? And so he was like, I've been watching all your short videos. I'm like, no, you don't want, if you want to watch them, you have to watch the long videos. So he's also been like, I'm just going to I'm going to watch your long videos while I'm working. I'm like, well, those few hours, they'll help. We love supportive husbands around here. But then he doesn't even have like a YouTube account or a Gmail. I had to like log him into one. He's a very non-technical kind of guy. All right, so I guess my question of the day today is not quilting related, but I have been overwhelmed with all the stuff, like we were just talking about, too many things. And so I've been making lists, and I've already started making like my Christmas list because we just stay at home on Christmas. And the fun thing I'm trying to think about is adding new snacks or appetizers to my list and recipes. Do you all have any favorite snacky things that you make for the holidays or any time of the year? Actually, I really don't care. I'm just looking for new snackies. I'm sick and tired of the cheese and pepperoni platter and crackers. I mean, we'll probably still do that because, I mean, who doesn't love that? But that's literally what I always do. So I am so curious about your favorite appetizers and snacks that you enjoy. I think I need to turn my heater off. Whew, I was freezing down here, and now the dreaded hot flash might be upon me. Even though these are just blocks that are pretty much the same size, because I did trim them all diligently. I finished. I trimmed half of them when we were on live last week. And I trimmed the rest. I think it was Sunday, maybe Saturday. But I still pin these or clip these because I get nervous that they're gonna slip on me. Brenda says, I love my sister's veggie pizza. I love dips and chips or breads. Yeah, I love dips, and I love when I go somewhere and they have like those stuffed breads and stuff, but I've never tried to make one. Andy says, I'm no Martha Stewart, right? Listen, you can't be cooking like Martha Stewart and sewing like Andy, right? You gotta pick your lane. Why I've never really thought I've never even really knew that they had mini quiches, but that's a good idea, the mini quiches and taquitos. The taquitos would probably be very kid friendly. I could probably get my kid to eat a taquito. Hi Tessa, happy Thursday, happy Friday Eve. We made it. We're so close. Joanne says guacamole, Cheesy jalapeno nachos. Yum. Chicken wing dip are all mainstays with us. Yes, I do love buffalo chicken wing dip. I made taco dip for my son's birthday party, I think maybe, but I forgot to put salsa on top. So it was still good, but not great. But I might try to redeem myself on the taco dip. And a bag of chocolate. Arlie, I'm with you. Bag of chocolate works. I do love chicken wing dip. I haven't made that in a long time. Ooh, that is tempting. I love chicken wing dip. Taquitos are, and I'll probably get a, Andy or Pam are probably better suited. The Arizonians are closer to Mexican food. All I know is it's like a rolled up little taco that sometimes has chicken and cheese in it. It's not a taco, but it's like just like the shell of the taco rolled up, like the tortilla. I think it's a tortilla. I don't know, but it's this rolled up little thing that's crunchy, if I'm thinking of it right, and it's yummy. Probably better when you don't get them out of the frozen food aisle, but in upstate New York, we do not have. Although I think there are actually some like more authentic Mexican restaurants popping up. I should try one out. Oh, good, Andy. Whew, I was sweating. I believe they're fried. But, you know, you just pop them in the air fryer when you get them from the frozen food section. Tessa says, I'm watching Harry Potter Baking Championship tonight on the Food Network. Oh my God, I forgot. I love the Food Network and stuff, but every time around this year, and I'm not like one for much of like I don't get excited about those Christmas Hallmark movies or anything, but I love the Food Network does like the holiday bake-offs and stuff. I need to double check those. Although I probably would have gotten in on the Harry Potter one too, the baking championship. The fact that there's a championship is good news for me because that means if I want to binge watch the whole series, it's ready for me. I'm glad you just reminded me of that, Tessa. I forgot how much I used to enjoy watching that. The next full sew day I have, I might have to pop one of those on, one of those seasons. Just like, they don't really make it stressful. Like, you know how like some of those is my anxiety going to be showing? I don't know. But like sometimes you can watch those like competition shows and they're like edited to stress you out. You know, like they make those tense moments and stuff. And I like the ones on Food Network because it's just fun. Like there's no stress. They don't edit any stress in for you. I need to unwind at night. I do not need anything jazzing me up, even my cooking shows. And I do love the Great British Baking Show too, but I don't think they've had a new season in a little while. But I think it normally comes out like in the beginning of the calendar year, so maybe we're due for one soon. Right, Tessa? We don't need stress. We don't need our cooking shows to be stressful. Like, I used to love Top Chef when it first came out many years ago. I don't even want to know how many years ago it was. But now I don't really like the way it was edited. Zaza says it's on just now. What's on just now? Don't tease me if it's the Great British Baking Show. I will close this live so fast you won't even know. No, I'm just kidding. I'll be running up to my TV so fast. Yeah, tuck my chair in a little. The only thing, my like ergonomics aren't right here. I got my keyboard here. It's not working for me. Move this a little closer. Oh, it's on a Friday night. I'm excited. I'll have to check Netflix and see if they're releasing new episodes. Because that's the only time I can watch it is on Netflix. Zaza, where are you? Where in the world is Zaza? Brenda says, I just want a recipe for cheesy bacon ranch chicken taquitos. They seem easy to make. Yeah, I mean, is it probably just like wrapping things up in a tortilla and then maybe pan frying them or something? Oh, no kidding. Zaza's in Scotland. Maybe I know. I don't know. I feel like you maybe did mention that the first time you were in, but my memory, and that's pretty cool. I bet you have a cool accent. Have you always been in Scotland? Like, is that born and raised kind of thing? Any plans for my next quilt project? So I have like another like pattern that I kind of have designed and that I might make, but I think actually my next, like for me, the next little project I have for myself is I recently bought the Encyclopedia of Pieced Quilt Blocks that I think the Electric Quilt Company released. It's the 3rd edition of the book. And I had this great idea to use a random number generator to pick random blocks out of that to kind of test my sewing skills. And so I did that and I picked a block and I'm kind of trying to put together a pattern for that. And I think I'm going to make videos on that. I don't know if anybody's interested in watching me do that in videos, but I think it's really fun for me. I like learning new things. And I mean, what more fun could be than like picking random blocks out of an in-depth book and kind of picking something that's out of your style. So that'll be a little project. Then my next big project will be a combination of, or a new quilt pattern that's kind of like based off a Lego mosaic I saw. Lightly influenced. It's not quite as beautiful as the Lego mosaic, but dang. Zaza says, I need to catch up. So the only thing is, Zaza, I think we get it way after you get it, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to check that, though. As soon as I'm done here, I'm going to check that. But sometimes I feel like it finishes airing over on the European side of the house. And then we get it later, but I could be wrong. But I'm excited. Is it a good season, Zaza? I'm pumped. I love it. I absolutely love it. Hi, Chloe. We were talking about how much I love the Great British Bake Off or the baking show. It was the baking show, and then I think it got bought by a different network or something. I don't know. You all know what I mean, though. You either know or you don't know. It's a great show. How are you doing tonight, Chloe? I'm finally sewing these blocks together. It's a miracle. The season is really great. Really good bakers this year, as last year's was rubbish. Nellie is awesome. I have the worst memory, so I can't remember, but I don't remember like being obsessed with last season, I guess I should say. So that probably means something. Oh, and Brenda says, I'm of Scottish descent. My great-great-great-grandparents came from there. The Orkneys. I'm probably saying that wrong. How fun. Went from Scotland to Canada. And Chloe says she's doing well, but she's just stressed about work. Ooh, I can feel you there. I feel like I've had a week. I hope that your stress starts to relieve itself. Is this like will things get better soon? Like, is it a deadline? Oh, and Andy says, I'm Scottish on my dad's side. My uncle has done all the ancestry research. My family comes from AYR. Ayr? Cool. I did a 23andMe, and I was more, I think it just said like Scottish and Irish, but I don't know. Like it just blended it together. But I did end up with a little redheaded girl, so it shouldn't really surprise me. Also, Zaza says, Andy, you are the opposite from her. She is just opposite of Edinburgh. I barely know the United States geography, so I'm not even going to pretend that I know the Scottish geography. If I had to figure out where all 50 states were on a U.S. map right now, let's just say it wouldn't go well. We all have our strengths. That's not mine. That is not mine. Tasha, do you have any plans for your next quilt project? Since I blabbed about mine. Ooh, this is not a perfect. But I have learned that even if my seam's a little wonky, as long as I don't sew over the existing seam, my points and stuff should still line up, I think. Oh, Chloe's a pharmacist in a hospital. Dang, girl. I did not know that. Well, I fear that your stressful time is not coming to an end then, right? I feel like this is the beginning of the sicker times with all the stuff going around in the winter. Brenda says the UK dream is a dream trip for me to visit Scotland. I love looking at pictures online and stuff. It's just so fun seeing those, countries that have been around, like we don't have architecture or landmarks that are as old as some of the stuff in the castles and stuff. It's so cool to see. There's probably so much fun stuff to see. Oh no, Chloe says it's all due to accounting not paying an invoice, and as an accountant, I feel that I should apologize to you. Oh no. Is it delaying some of your like medications that you need or something? Probably. Those freaking accountants. Oh, and Zaza's a former nurse. I come from a family of nurses. I am not one though. I am not cut from that same cloth. My mom, my sister, my stepmom, they're all in nursing. Not me. I literally get weak in the knees. I get weak in the knees when they talk about some of the stuff they do. That's not a saying. That's it. I really do get weak in the knees. Tessa says, I need to make zipper bags and some bowl cozies for gifts. I have never made those bowl cozies, but obviously anybody who sews, I think, and you've ever went on Pinterest and was like, I need a Christmas gift idea. You see those bowl cozies, right? They're so nice that you can pop things in the microwave. I am tempted to try to make them, but I don't see that in my future for this year. I was thinking of maybe doing like little zipper bags of some kind or snap bags for gift cards for my kids' teachers. Brenda says, hey, don't bash us. The money has to be there to pay. That is true. That is true. Although, we can all empathize with that invoice accidentally got tucked under a keyboard. Although invoices probably don't come in that much in paper anymore. Zaza says, when we were in Virginia, everyone told us to go to Colonial Williamsburg, where they raved up how old everything is. And we were like, this isn't old, right? Like, there's just nothing old here. And so that's why I am a homebody. I really don't have the desire to travel I would like to see a couple things. Like I would love to see the big redwood trees and I would love to see the northern lights. But if like the only thing that really kind of tempts me to go travel is like seeing old stuff, like those old castles over there. Like, oh God, to be standing somewhere that somebody was standing like hundreds and hundreds of years ago. I don't know. Like to me, that's so interesting. But other than that, I really don't have a strong desire to travel too much. I like to just travel to my basement or travel to my backyard. Oh, Brenda says she's got 20 cut and ready to sew for the bowl cozies. Oh, I didn't even know that you were making those too, Brenda. Oh, that sounds like a nightmare, Chloe, with the domino effect of like dealing with that. It is amazing how some of those logistical things, like one little mistake, can just become the biggest headache. So at least hopefully you'll have that resolved soon and then maybe um oh, but I just feel for you. I just know how well and my stuff that I deal with like at work or whatever is not life or death, right? Like I'm not dealing with medications in a hospital. So I ugh, Williamsburg is, and then Chloe says Williamsburg is pretty cool. I don't, I've never been down there, but I do anticipate, like I'm in New York, I do anticipate some trips down there as the kids get a little older. So as it says, I bought canvas zipper pouches as I got nice stamps for block printing. So kind of cheating, but it's fun to do. Oh, that's fun. And are you block print? What are you block printing? Chloe says it was an emailed invoice and not to be put in to be coded. Yeah, I can see how that happens. Unfortunately, human beings can tend to be human beings. Saza says the area I live loads of Outlander was filmed. I know Brenda loves Outlander, isn't it, Brenda? Like I'm pretty sure you recommended that to me. I haven't dabbled in Outlander yet, but I have seen like some of the previews and stuff, and obviously it looks amazing and gorgeous. Brenda likes to stay busy, Tessa. Brenda always likes to be busy. She's a machine. Oh yeah, and Brenda's in between quilts right now, so. Although technically, are you in between quilts right now? Because aren't you still working on the Pond Skater quilt? Andy says I was on a trip to England and we ate at a little pizza place in Oxford. They put glass over one wall that had been painted in the 1600s. And I was like, this place is older than my country. That's freaking crazy. That's cool. That is really, really cool. Oh, Chloe, I wish I could give you a big hug. And you know, you're stressed because you're a good person and you want it to work out and you want to do a good job. And then you're dealing with somebody else's mistake. It's literally the worst. It is literally the worst. I'm giving you a hug from across the internet. We're all sending Chloe hugs from across the internet. Zaza says I got floral, sewing, and paisley stamps. I don't know too much about stamps, but stamping. That sounds fun though. Another thing to dabble in. Hi, Candace. Welcome. Happy Friday Eve. We're just talking about old buildings and countries and mostly Scotland and oh, Chloe, well traveled. Went to Ireland, England, and Scotland when I was 7, and then back to England again when I was 19. Wow, good. That's so cool. Your parents sound cool, Chloe. My poor kids are like, can we please go on a plane? I'm like, Mom doesn't really want to go on a plane, but I probably will at one point suck it up and do that for them. Those kids, you'll do anything for those stinkers. Now, for those of you that are making those bowl cozies, sewing them. Do you use them in your own house? Like, and how often? And what are you using them for? I'm just trying to think, like, do I ever put a bowl in the microwave? I mean, probably. Man, this machine, this is probably some of the first straight, without, sewing curves, chain stitching I've done on this machine. And this is very enjoyable. Chloe says, absolutely, you need to pick a dream vacation. I should work on that. Oh, I got a big antivirus warning. Okay, there we go. Oh, at first I was like, what is she talking about? But Zaza's saying those bowl cozies are good for ice cream. It stops your hand from getting cold. Now, I could get behind ice cream. Like, I eat some ice cream. Oh, and Brenda says we use them pretty much all the time since we eat in front of the TV. We even use them if we don't microwave. A bowl of soup is hot. That is true. Yeah, I mean, that is true. Andy says my college roommate lived in Hungary for a few years, and we took my daughter to visit when she was 8. Trip of a lifetime. Too bad her memories are fading. Ah, I guess that means you just have to go again, right, Andy? Chloe says her husband doesn't like flying. I don't either. Oh God, I don't either. And that's why I'm the worst when I don't dream about travel because I am nervous. I'm a nervous person if you haven't picked up on that. Oh no, Andy says she misplaced her external hard drive where all the digital photos were saved. That's rough. Rough. Oh, Chloe says she is 1/4 Hungarian, so she would love to go too. And Tessa says she's using those quilted bowls when she's eating ice cream. Well, the ice cream might have sold me on it. Give one a try. This machine is so oh my God. I don't want to just keep going on and on. But my old machine, like I could have never just started on like this very thick seam. It would just like crunch up and try to eat the fabric. Oh, it's just so nice. That's why I'm glad I never test drove a newer machine until I was ready to buy, because I don't know how you could go back. Andy and Brenda both are gonna need to win the lottery to fund all their travel dreams. Well, may the odds be in your favor. I always say I need to win the lottery too, but then I never, buy any tickets, which is not exactly the best way to go about winning the lottery. Chloe, now we're talking. You can make bowl cozies to fit a pint of ice cream. So we have a local ish quilt. Yeah, I mean it's local. My husband drives by it on his way home from work. Like that does all homemade ice cream. And we have some in the freezer. We just got for the kids on Friday. We have ice cream every Friday, and my son wanted to try pistachio ice cream. I love like pistachio muffins and pistachio pudding, and I am loving the fact that he wanted pistachio ice cream, and they have pistachio almond. And so we have little pints of ice cream in our freezer right now. I would not be mad to have a little bowl cozy to enjoy one of those pints of ice cream. Yeah, Andy, buying lottery tickets does certainly help. That is for sure. The Euro Millions lottery is 130 million tomorrow. Oh, that's crazy. Can you even imagine? I just can't. I've been at my current job a long time, like almost, is that almost 15 years now or 14? I don't know. It's been a minute. And, but at my job before that, um, how you could tell things got bad is actually went on to the New York State Lottery and bought a weekly subscription. So I didn't even have to like buy the tickets. And I said, if I win the lottery, I'm just leaving my work laptop inside my apartment door and you're never going to see me again. And I did actually tell my old bosses that. And for some reason, they were still surprised when I quit. Like, why were you surprised? I told you I bought a subscription to the lottery. And you would never see me again if I won. Like those are red flags, right? Lavender ice cream. That's so, and like sometimes those, I mean, and I believe you that it's probably delicious because I mean, why would you lie about it? But I always get nervous about that stuff because like, right, like rose water, like it can get floral, you know what I mean? I know, Chloe. I literally told them, you will never see me again. And then they were like, you're quitting? Girl, yes, I am quitting. I was not lying. I didn't win the lottery, but I did get another job. Bye. Now when I buy, like, I have like a few people that report to me at work, and I'm not kidding. Like, we'll usually buy lottery tickets for them for Christmas. I try to do like little gifts for them at Christmas and put them in the mail. And I will not buy lottery tickets for them that are enough that they could quit their job. Like realistically, like I don't buy anyone who works for me like win for life. Like if you want to win for life, you do that on your own time. I want you here stuck with me. So I like you all. And I told them if I ever start buying you like win for life lottery tickets or like really lottery tickets, you could win a lot of money. That's a sign. It's a sign because I'm not going to do that if I want you to stay here. Yes, it can be exactly like eating perfume. I'm too sensitive to it. I get nervous trying that stuff. The few times we get lottery tickets, my husband jokes that we'd be happy with one of the smaller prizes, a couple $100,000 to pay off the house and buy a new car. It's nothing extravagant. Honestly, Andy, I've always thought about that. Like there are obviously people out there who have like different life circumstances. But like when I think about winning lottery too, I don't think about like millions and trillions of dollars and this like crazy stuff. I just think like, wouldn't it be crazy if I just like owned everything that I owned, right? Like I didn't have a mortgage, I didn't have a car payment. Like what if I just like went to work and like that money was just like mine? Not mine, because like you still have to pay taxes and all that. But like, wouldn't that just be like just that little bit of relief of no mortgage would be like amazing. Yep. That is right, Brenda. Come on, universe. We're not being greedy. Could you just throw us all like just a million, half a mil? Come on. Hey, Tasha. Zaza's like, hey, I won 650 and I'm beggars can't be choosers. I'm thrilled. Right. I am with you, right? I'll take whatever I can get. I used to love when I was like a teenager, I worked at a hardware store and a couple of us would get like the bingo scratch offs because they like took a while. My best friend Virginia and I used to do that a lot. So we would like get our little snacks and we'd go in our break room and then like we would do that. We did know the cheats that if you like scratched far enough, you could see if you won in the outside, but we would get like all the ones that took a long time so that we could like push out our excitement of our $2 lottery ticket. Yeah, too bad we're all spread apart. Zaza could be buying us all ice cream to share with her lottery winnings. Brenda's like, I'm pumped if I get a free ticket to try again. I love that for us that we all just set the bar real low, right? We'll just take whatever we can get. We love that. Joanne's like, I'll just take enough for a long arm. Hell yeah, right? Definitely. I'm in. What's so funny too is like I always have like that job that I was just talking about at the hardware store. I had it from when I was like 16 or 17 till my like graduated college. Like I would go back, and it's vacant now. And I always like have like if I had extra money, I would try to buy that spot that the hardware store used to be in or rent it out and get like a long arm and like make my own. Like I don't know if it would be a quilt shop, but I don't know. I feel like that would be so fun to kind of go back to that spot. Yes, I wish us all enough lottery winnings for long arms and mortgages. No Ferraris wanted around here. Well, if my husband could probably hear me from here, he would be like, I want a car. A Janome M17. I don't know what that is, but that might be one of the ones they were trying to get me to. So I went into the quilt shop knowing I wanted this Janome 6700P. It was on sale. I knew what I wanted. I knew my budget. And they're like, oh, have you ever tried this M something or this one? And I was like, I'm not trying anything but what I came in here to buy with the budget to buy. Because if I drive something nicer, no, I just want what I'm here for. Don't try to tempt me. Oh, it's the big one. A big one. I'm going to have to Google that. I'm going to write you on my list, Zaza. I want to see what an M17 is now. All the bells and whistles. I've been searching Marketplace. Do any of you do embroidery machines? Yeah, you couldn't fit that much fabric in a Ferrari, and that's all that matters. We only care about transporting fabric. Ugh, cars. I'm also kind of feel like cars are like, I used to buy new cars ever since I got my first job, and now I've switched to used cars because I'm like, ugh, cars. I also work from home, so I'm in a different stage of life where sometimes I don't drive my car for like a week at a time. So cars just aren't that important to me anymore. Yeah, completely agree, Arlie. Do not. I seriously, I had my sewing machine, my brother, which I loved, still emotionally attached to that machine for 10 years, and I refused. Like even the person who long armed for me, she was like, "Oh, try my Janome." I'm like, "I'm not trying it until I can buy it." Like I can't. It'll ruin my brother for me. I don't know. I just feel like embroidery would be so fun. I mean, like I need another sewing machine or another hobby, but man, I'm getting the bug. And then I got that serger, which I did buy the thread, Joanne, that you said I should get serger thread, which I did, but I haven't taken it out of the box that I and tried it again. But when I bought that serger, I bought it on Marketplace, and now I'm like, I want to find an embroidery machine on Marketplace and haggle. I don't know. That was fun. Haggling was fun. Hi, Laura. Happy Friday Eve. We are so close to the weekend. And for some of us, the weekend just means driving our kids to all of their different social activities. My kids have a birthday party on my son has one on Saturday, and then both kids are invited to the same birthday party on Sunday. So I'm going to spend a lot of time around kids, which means next week for the live, I'll probably be sick because you know what? Kids suck. I'm going right into the thick of it with those darn kids. And they'll all like get a sniffle and then I'll be sick I just finally, if you guys remember, I was like sniffling for like 3 weeks straight on here. Finally over it, so. Zaza says I was in the same when I got my new machine last year. I had 3 to try in my budget. Yeah, I don't know what it is about this machine. I think I just saw somebody using it on good old social media and I was influenced, and then I researched it, and like I just got fixated on this machine, and I just knew my brain wouldn't deviate. Laura says, I love my embroidery sewing machine. Now, Or using the same machine for sewing and embroidery, and you kind of have two different stations. Like, do you have one machine that does it all? Ooh, look at, I almost got, well, I mean, obviously I have more blocks to go, but I got through, this week was very productive on my live. I got through all of the blocks that I had clipped to go through. It's amazing. Yeah, Brenda's got 5 days off. It's pretty awesome, but she deserves it. Does anybody have exciting plans for the weekend? What are we doing? Also, of these, like, what is it? How many blocks was this? 36, I want to say. Does anybody have any predictions of how many I sewed together wrong because I like clipped them wrong or something? I'm going to go with 1. I think I have 1 block in here that's wrong. Laura says I actually have 2 combo machines because they didn't want to give me much for a trade-in. So I just kept both. You know what, Laura? I like your style. Give me. Don't fight me. I'll just keep it. I like it. Just don't want to mess up this last little bit because this looks like a thin 1/4 of an inch over here. She is definitely thin. All right. That was fun. This beautiful, my first super long chain piecing, guys. Ah, so satisfying. Love that. Candace says, lots of sewing. My son is with his dad this weekend. Well, you know, he's got to be away. It's good to get some sewing done. How old's your son, Candace, if you don't mind sharing? Chloe says, getting ready for Thanksgiving. Are you hosting, Chloe? And what does that look like for you? Laura's like, I'm sure they would have just turned around and sold it 3 times for what the trade-in. For sure. I mean, I know they have to mark it up to make money, but to your point, like, might as well keep it if it's not, you know, there is a dollar value where it's worth just keeping rather just have it. I kept my old machine too. I think they were doing a trade-in deal. I'm 1, emotionally attached to it, and then 2, I think I'm going to go get it serviced. I used it for like 10 years on and off. I did take a break when the kids were little, but I've never had it serviced. So I'm going to get it serviced so I have a backup machine. Yeah, so I kept my old machine too. I don't know if it's like we get attached to them emotionally or just like, yeah, like after you've had it for so long and they offer you a nominal value, it's like, well, I'd rather have a backup machine, right? I know it works. I've got it. Been with it a long time. I'll just keep a backup machine. Chloe's hosting Thanksgiving. Are there anybody else hosting Thanksgiving? Guys, I think I'm going to be live on Thanksgiving after. I might be a little tipsy. Might have had a little wine at the in-laws. But I think I still might go live just in case anybody is home alone and bored and wants to chat about quilting. Candace is a 13-year-old. Okay, we also have a daughter out of state at college. She turned 21 in October. So partying is her major right now. I hope she's living it up. Enjoy. Well, that's true. I forgot Canada. I don't even know if Scotland has. I mean, obviously they don't celebrate American Thanksgiving. Yeah, so there's a couple of you that won't even know that it's Thanksgiving, really. Laura said I've had both running at the same time, so it's worked out well for me. I did have an emotional attachment to it. Yeah, no, we get attached to those little suckers. Yeah, I thought the same thing, Zaza. So my daughter's 4 and she's taking a great interest in sewing. And I'm like, yeah, in like 3 years, really? She could probably, I don't know when you're sticking your kids in front of a sewing machine, but I bet you she's just a couple of years away, a few years away. Laura says, we host every holiday. My sister gets too anxious and I'm a much better cook. That's awesome. We've always gone to for the most part, we've always gone to my sister-in-law's for Thanksgiving, and she's a good cook. She's fine. But you know how like you still like things the way you like them, you know what I mean? Like, and so I still always have my husband get a turkey, and we'll usually make a Thanksgiving dinner at some point for us. Like I said, she's a good cook, but you know, like sometimes you just like you like the rolls you like versus the rolls they like, or you like just those funny little things. So we always make like a special little Thanksgiving dinner for just us. It's really not like making a turkey really isn't that hard. I mean, I don't do it fancy. I just put it in one of those bags. But it comes out really good. And then, you know, like some of the sides and stuff, they're not that challenging to make. And if you're just making it for your family, like not hosting, and you just make like the things that are your favorites, it's really not too terrible. Chloe says my 8-year-old daughter can sew better than me. Is she sewing on your actual sewing machine, Chloe? Sounds like it. Do you remember when you let her start sewing? And Twyla is also hosting Thanksgiving. Look at you guys. Look at all you little hostesses with a mostesses. My grandma taught me, Laura's saying, my grandma taught me on her treadle machine. I always think machine when I was 7 or 8. She would always say, don't run your finger through. Well, I think I've mentioned this on a previous live that I have one of those machines sitting right there. I need to get that sucker up and running. I do. My husband's had it forever. It was his. He inherited it from an aunt or something, maybe. It looked pristine when we opened it up. I really should give it a try. That would be probably great for my daughter, too. Zaza said, my kids always moaned if we went to my sister. She lives 5 minutes walk away. She's a decent cook. They'd just rather be home. So I've kind of made like, I said to my husband, like, you know, I kind of want to start making our own family traditions once, you know, we started having kids. And I said, I'm good with Thanksgiving, but on Christmas, I really just want to stay home. I don't care if other people come here. I don't care who comes here. I don't care when they come. Like, I don't mind cooking all day, like yummy food and drinking mimosas. But like, I want my kids and I want to be home, right, on Christmas. It's just, to me, it's a family day, stay home. The kids are little, they have Christmas gifts, Santa came, you know. And so that's what we've done. My in-laws come on Christmas. Generally, my mom will come in the morning. I'll make like a French toast casserole and like just little snacks and stuff. And I love it. I absolutely love it. Um, I'm a homebody though. Like, right? Like if I could stay home on Thanksgiving, I would too. Like it wouldn't bother me at all. Okay, Chloe says her daughter has a brother sewing machine. She started at 6 or 7. And like a kid machine or just like a legit brother machine? Brenda always goes to my parents' house still for any holiday. They haven't passed the torch on yet. That's nice. But that's so nice, Brenda, that your family still gets all together, right? Because like you have like lots of, sometimes more, sometimes less, right? Because you've had some people move away. But like that's nice that your family still kind of does that. And Zaza says her granny taught her 7 or 8. Okay, so my daughter is like on her way. She's close. She'll be 5 soon. And Laura's now got her treadle machine in her home now. That's so cool. Oh, I love that for you guys. And Chloe says a regular brother machine that has speed control. That's really what I was sewing on. My old machine was a brother machine that has one of those, like, I could slow that all the way down. I should get that serviced. I was thinking this year, that's one thing I need to think about for Christmas is I would love to get my kids, like, I've seen like little hand sewing kits and stuff like that. I want to get them some more like arts and craftsy things. Joanne said I did an after school sewing program with 4th and 5th graders and they were at the perfect age. Okay, so 4th grade would be 9. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Like, yeah, if they're starting them at home at 7 by the time they're like 9 or 10, that would be perfect. All right. I got to start planning for that. I do think she would love sewing because she's always right in here with me and always trying to use the pedal and stuff. So, although that is really scary, she is now doing the pedal every time we sew. Brenda's witnessed that a little bit on FaceTime. And nothing really makes me quite as nervous as when she's running that pedal for me. Felt animals. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. adding it to the list of all these wonderful things. Now, see, I just keep the piece of paper right next to me because you guys always come up with such great ideas. I have my mother-in-law's featherweight and it sews like a dream. That is one other thing that I would love to get is one of those featherweights. They just look, oh, right? Satisfying to look at. I've never sewn with one, but they look great. Joanne says they were terrified, but then they start to get confidence. That's awesome. Yeah. I remember I sewed a pillow in like the 7th grade. I think my sister might still have it. It was a frozen banana. The banana was blue. You like embroidered its face. Andy said, I put the machine on a piano bench when my daughter was about 7 so she could run the whole thing. She made one 9-patch block. Andy, does your daughter have any interest in quilting? Because like I know your mother does, right? And like you kind of maybe your mom owned the quilt shop if I'm remembering right. Like so has it passed down to your daughter? Is your daughter just like, meh, you guys can keep the quilting? My grandma also taught me to crochet when I was 4 and I still do it to relax. Oh, that's so nice, Laura. I have dabbled in crochet as well. Oh, I never had a grandma to teach me anything. How fun. Um that's so fun that you guys had that. I'm trying to think of what my grandma taught me. I had a grandma for a little while. But she wasn't very crafty as far as I can recall. She has no interest maybe in another 20 years. You know what, Andy? I'm like 39 this year. And I like probably when I was like, yeah, is when I went all in. Like I was like dabbling with sewing in my like 30s. But yeah, 20 years. I think she's good for it. And Joanne says, start having them sew on writing lines. Oh yeah, paper to get control. That's a good idea. Tessa says, have a good night. Time for bed. Also time for me to go to bed. Yes, it's after 10. Yeah, so I am also going to log off here soon, so I'll start saying goodbye. Thank you for coming, Tessa. Thank you for coming, everyone. I really appreciate it. Oh, let's see. Candace says my daughter wants to learn to sew clothes and repurpose used clothes. I didn't do clothes and told her she needs to take a class for that. Clothes are a whole nother world. Good night, Joanne. My daughter has no interest in sewing. Fairly recent. She's 23. She will knit and has done for a long time. But you never know. There's still hope. Zaza. Well, thank you all. Have a good night. Oh, Andy's down to 2 more seams. That's awesome. I'll see you all next Thursday. Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. Okay, bye. I remembered my bye. Good night.